Well, little Miss Onea, how was your weekend?
Morning. Great. It
Was
was
it?
good. Busy. Had the kids. It was spring break, although it does not feel like spring at all.
Tell me
know,
about it. I
it's-
thought I was done with turtlenecks,
Yeah,
long sleeves.
I know. We were trying to coordinate this morning our outfits, and we're like, okay, that outfit's out.
I had this cute little spring top all laid out that I was
Yeah.
going to wear, and actually I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning with the wind blowing like 100 miles a minute. Did you hear
Oh
it?
my goodness! I thought
Yeah.
my house was going to fly away.
I know, I wish I had one of those wind gauges, but the wind gauge is this. Stick my finger out the door and I'm like, whoa, that's a strong
Yeah,
wind,
it
right?
was crazy.
It was
I'm
scary.
surprised I had furniture, my lawn furniture,
know.
still on my patio.
Me too.
but-
And then what else came? What came next?
Snow, and this has to be the longest winter ever.
Yeah, but listen, we shouldn't complain. When we look at those poor people back east,
Yeah.
what
Or-
they've gone through this
Yeah,
winter,
Japan.
or Japan, what's going through, what's a
Yeah.
little bit of hail and,
Yeah.
and wind and snow and
Actually,
all of
I
that.
was driving down Prescott Parkway yesterday, and the water level's actually up to the first stain. You know,
Did you get
know how
out
the
swimming?
stains. No,
Did you go
but
out and do a little
but it was
swim?
nice to see that the water's risen.
Well, we need it. For anybody who doesn't know what Prescott looks like, we are surrounded by forest, beautiful forest. And one of the things we always worry about are fires, forest fires, because we do have campers and camping, and people get careless and start fires. A few years ago, we had quite a bit of our forest burned down. We're spread into residential neighborhoods and actually, burned down several residential homes. So we are always thrilled when we get moisture,
right.
and we can prevent that, or at least the fear of it all. However, enough's enough, Mother Nature. Listen to us, okay? Enough's enough. We're ready. Everything's blooming, including us.
Yes,
Okay?
right,
Yeah.
definitely.
Blooming onions. Do you ever have a blooming onion? Speaking of blooming.
Yes, but I actually had fried pickles
Oh,
this
I've heard
weekend,
of them.
which I shouldn't admit to, considering I'm not eating those things right now. But that was interesting.
Well, hey, let me tell you, I don't know what you're eating right now, but you're looking good, girl.
Thank you.
You're dropping the pounds.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
What's the inspiration?
Well, my son's 18, and I can't use him as baby weight anymore. I've had 2 kids. I can't get rid of the baby weight, but
The never-ending baby
yeah,
weight, baby
yeah,
Huey.
Yeah, baby Huey. Yeah, so it's just he's graduating this year, and I'm enough's enough, and
I think
something
that's-
clicked. So
That's a good incentive.
yeah, I'm working on it.
That's a good incentive for his graduation. You want to look good. I know my sister dropped a ton of weight when she wanted to be the mother of the bride and walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be too big. So, now I need a good reason to start. What
You
can
look
you think
great.
of one?
I think you look awesome.
Well, there's a reason I have this table in front of me and this tablecloth in front of me. Now, when we were doing our last show,
Yes.
we started to talk about spirit and energy. Remember
Yeah,
the player
energy.
piano?
Yeah, and the player piano, and
How much-
that's a fascinating thing, especially since Prescott is such a historical place.
Right.
Anyways, I know I've heard different
Right.
stories of certain hotels or certain restaurants having presence of spirits and
Right. We probably shouldn't mention the name of the hotel, just in
Right,
case
right.
business drops off and they come after us to pay the difference.
True,
Okay,
but I
so-
think that would be intriguing to some. But
Well, there is. We have, as you say, it's an old Western historic
Yeah.
town. There's a lot of history in Prescott. Like, for instance, a little-known fact to outside people anyway, the locals know it, but our downtown area is known as Whiskey Row. We have a certain stretch known as Whiskey Row.
Right.
Because all the bars and brothels were there during the Western days. But
Right.
also, underneath all that were underground little tunnels.
I was just
and
telling
places.
my niece and nephews about that, and they're like, "Ooh, how can we get underneath there?"
Well, you
And
can't. I've
you
been
can't.
underneath
I
there.
haven't, but I'd love to.
But what they were known for were opium dens. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well,
No.
you're not allowed to go there. Those days are behind us.
Yes.
No. It's a family show. We never did that. No. But no, they were opium dens. We had a lot of Chinese here working on the railroads who also brought in the opium. And
Okay.
so our cowboys did a little bit more than just drink whiskey and visit the girls, I
On
think.
Whiskey Row?
Yeah, on Whiskey Row, that's right. So not only do we have a lot of history here, but we have a lot of antique shops with history attached to the items.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And we were talking about how energy stays with an item,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So do you have something you want to say about that?
No, I find that kind of fascinating that you could actually pick up energy from an item. But I know I have come into contact with certain things that either felt great or you instantly have this feeling of,
Ooh.
yeah, wanting to get away from it or heaviness or panic or whatever it may be. But it is interesting. I didn't know what was behind it more than
Well, energy
anything.
cannot be destroyed. We know
Right.
that. We know energy can change form, but it cannot be destroyed. So even if someone owned, like let's say a piece of jewelry, and that person was depressed, sick, or there was a lot of negativity in the home,
Right.
that energy is actually transferred onto the item and
Oh.
doesn't go away.
Okay.
You know, for that matter, even in a house. Have you ever walked into a house? We're not even talking antiques now. We're
Right.
just talking a house, a shop, anything.
Right.
And you felt, ooh, I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just something in the energy, and it's nothing psychic. Well, I guess it is a little.
Well, energy
it's just
and psychic.
It's just
yeah.
intuition, but yeah, not really putting a definition to it. Feeling like I need to get out of here.
Well, and that's the other thing. Even in a home or whatever, a building, energy cannot be destroyed. You can paint it, you can whitewash it and give it a
Right.
new coat of paint, but that does not really take out the energy.
Okay.
Now, there is such a thing as cleansings.
Right.
You've heard of cleansings.
I have.
Okay. Which is usually done, or smudging. Some
Smudging.
people call it smudging.
With sage or something.
Sage,
Okay.
holy water, a little bit of both. A lot of shamans do it, but anybody can really learn how to cleanse their home or an item. The easiest way to describe it is because we've all seen photos and posters of the Native Americans when there's smoke coming up and there's usually a feather involved and they're doing this, right? Where they're cleansing their own body, their own energy. Well, the same can be done with anything, really, anything. So smudging a home with sage, have you ever done it?
Yes. Not actually. I've been in ceremonies where I've smudged before with sage.
Oh.
So.
Well, smudge here, a little smudge there, everywhere, smudge.
Right.
No, I have too.
Yeah.
I've cleansed homes and smudged items and what have you.
And
you,
I love the smell of it.
well, you have to be careful.
Yes, I know.
Because it can smell like something else that
Right,
grows.
but-
That's a natural herb.
But I don't
Okay.
like the smell of that.
All right, now, folks, we're getting it back on a serious track, although some people like the smell of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some do.
Or maybe you just don't even need to smell anything. Maybe it's
No.
just the other thing.
That could be for another topic for another day.
But I wanted to mention, because you said, you know, the intuition or just how
Right.
you feel feels negative. However, and I know this from my own experience, you can be just as drawn to something that is a negative item or has negative energy, but you're drawn to it anyway. You're not feeling that. It's like, oh, I want this. I've got to have this. And not until later do you experience the negativity of the item. Has that happened to you?
I can't really recall that, but
How about a house or an apartment or a car?
yeah.
You thought, oh, I love this car. I've got to have this car, and you get it. And
But what would
everything
draw
goes
you
wrong with
to a
it.
negative energy and then down the road feel the repercussions
Good
later
question.
of it.
Good question.
Like a bad relationship.
There you go. You've been drawn to that bad boy, and then I was like, what did I ever see in that guy, right? Well, that's a good example.
Yeah.
You know, how we're drawn to a negative thing as strongly as a positive thing, sometimes even more so.
Interesting.
We're going to have to think about that.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that one.
I don't know the answer to it. All I know is that I've experienced it. I think just about everyone has experienced it. And a relationship would be a good analogy.
Yeah.
Good analogy. Okay, let's talk about spirit.
Okay.
Being attached to something.
Okay, so is energy the same as a spirit? Or is that two different things?
Well, we're talking two different things, but it's all energy, okay? Because you're energy, I'm energy.
Right, but it's not an actual spirit attached to.
Actually, I think I've thought of you as a spirit here and there, kind of, okay? Ethereal, okay, a good thing. Wish is all spirit, bad, good, or can it be both?
But it's not the same thing. If an energy is connected to a house, a car, an item,
right,
that's not necessarily a spirit.
No, but can a spirit also be attached to an item?
Yes.
Yes.
But it could be two different things.
Could a spirit actually even attach itself to a person?
I've seen movies where they do that.
Scary.
Yeah.
I have to quit watching those.
I know, I just seen one the other day. Yeah.
I can't watch them anymore. My head doesn't stop, and it keeps working on me. And at night when I go to
Well, and you watch it right
bed
before you go to sleep,
Well, of
and they're
course.
in your dreams.
Yeah, I've had
it.
quit. Yes, the answer to that is yes. Spirit can attach itself to anything, okay? Now, a positive, good entity will not attach themselves to a person.
A positive entity won't connect to a person.
Well, won't attach.
Attach.
They might work as a guide, a spirit guide, or a guardian
but not
angel.
in a negative way.
Right.
Okay.
Where a lower vibrational entity can actually attach itself like right around on your shoulder. You know how we see the good angel, the devil here? Negative spirit can attach and whisper in your ear like, eat that Snicker, eat that Snicker. I think I'm going, okay? And do all those things.
Is that your excuse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have an excuse for everything, and that's mine. But no, good spirit will not do that. Okay, not allowed to. There are certain laws in the universe, and that's one of the laws.
Okay, interesting.
So, but can they attach themselves to things? Yes, of a negative nature. The positive will not. And how can you tell the difference? What do you think?
Well, it's dark versus light. You know, there's a feeling of negativity if it's a bad energy. There's a darkness or a
heavy feeling.
Heavy feeling, yeah.
So we have to trust our intuition.
Right.
At all times.
Is that right?
Yeah, that is right, but not with anything.
Right.
We need to learn to trust our intuition. I always say that inner voice will guide you properly, right? And the price we pay is when we don't listen to it and we do the opposite, or we pay no attention.
That gut feeling of...
Right, that gut hunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we all go around saying,